alongside a couple of Richmond stars and Grace Egan and Sarah Hosking. Hosco, a big welcome to you this afternoon. Looking forward to this game as we take a look at the Gold Coast lineup. A couple of changes to their side. Katie Lynch is a big in and Lucy Single is a big out with delayed concussion symptoms.
Thanks, Jess. It is great to be here, but as you mentioned, Lucy Single is the big one for me. She has stood up as that key midfielder, almost their second mid this year for Gold Coast. We know that it's going to be a really tough contested battle today. I think both teams looking for their first win. So for me, I look at that midfield battle and you go straight to Charlie Rowbottom as well. We just look at the form that she's in at the moment. She's been outstanding. I think, you know, her contested ability, she won 14 clearances last week, and Lucy Single was the next closest with 5. So for me, it's who's going to stand up next. You have a look at just her career season averages at the moment and what she's done from last season to this season. She's trying to do everything. Without Ali Drennan, you just look at, well, obviously Ali Drennan came out last year, but Charlie Rowbottom is doing it all. She's been phenomenal. She's just a contested beast at the moment. So for me, it's how can Geelong counteract that? Charlie Rowbottom standing out. She's been awesome. I think Whitford stands up today. And then you look at Barwick, who's again a young player coming in and seeing how their midfield can match up against this Geelong outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlie Rowbottom in red hot form in 2024. Our Amy reliable player for today is an Oracle Suns Best and Fairest winner, Jamie Stanton, who kicked a goal after the siren last week to draw the game against the Giants. I think she's one of the best kicks in the competition, and she's a person in that moment that you would love to have the footy in their hands.
She is, and you do. You look at reliable players, she does stand up in these kind of moments. You see how they've just celebrated there, like they've won a grand final, but again, that was just a draw. So today is going to be an interesting one. Jamie Stanton is the leading goalkeeper at the moment for Gold Coast. They're going in with a small forward line, and it's going to be an exciting fit today.
Yeah, they definitely needed the 2 points last week. As Grace, we take a look at Geelong, their lineup. A couple of Queenslanders that they've included today. Looking for some home ground support, we've got a debutant in Caitlin Thorne, and Georgia Rankin comes back into the side. They were held goalless last week against Carlton. Disappointing loss for them. They'll be looking for a response today.
Yeah, obviously it's disappointing last week. I'm sure they wouldn't imagine finishing the game goalless. They're a very contested possession side, and last week they didn't bring that, and at the minute that's something that they're lacking in, which you'd never expect from that team. Geelong is always a team that you go against and you expect them to be really hard at it. Obviously losing the depth in Georgia Press-Parkis and that leadership and the connection between the lines, it's a very important thing, but then that's on other players to step up, which we've seen in Becky Webster having 23 disposals last week. I'm sure she also brings leadership on the field, especially when they're lacking someone like Press-Parkis.
I'm really looking forward to the midfield battle today. Two of the contested beasts in the competition, Charlie Rowbottom for the Suns, Amy McDonald for Geelong. She was also important last week for Carlton, but this is going to be a great battle to watch.
Yeah, Amy McDonald's huge. She has a huge role today for her team, which I think that she'll take it 100%. She'll love this role. She'll be able to carry her team and bring the challenge today, hoping for that win. She's a very contested player. It will be amazing to watch her go head-to-head with Charlie Rowbottom.
Yeah. Let's welcome in the final member of our commentary team this afternoon, living her best life in the beautiful sunshine on the Gold Coast. It's a big hello to Hannah Davies.
Oh, Jess, I absolutely am. We've got some perfect conditions here at People First Stadium for a midday game, 25 degrees and not a cloud in sight. And it is heading to desperate times for both sides. Cameron Joyce said throughout the week that he is not happy, not satisfied with the start for his team this season. And similarly, Dan Lather said he's now entering must-win territory if either side want to keep their season alive.
Thank you, Hannah. Not a cloud in the sky on Gold Coast today. This is going to be a huge battle. Here we go. It's Gold Coast taking on Geelong, week 4 of the AFLW at People First Stadium. And immediately it's Whitford out of the centre for the Suns, who sends him inside forward 50 for the first time. But this is Becky Webster, who we mentioned off the top, is in good form for the Cats, taking the intercept mark. And she gives it off to Kearns, who kicks down the line to a contest. That is a free kick for high contact. It's tough for Michaela Bowen, actually, to grab Lauren Bella high, but she somehow did that.
It is an interesting matchup here with Lauren Bella and Kate Darby, the undersized ruck at the moment for Geelong.
Off to Katie Lynch, who sends it into the pocket. Hands to it from Davis. Couldn't complete the mark. Kearns over the top of Stanton, the hero last week. Rankin going nowhere. Kennedy, rather, is locked up. So what are we expecting today, Grace and Hosco? Any tip for us early stages?
Well, I just think it's going to be, for me, a battle of the contested possessions and whoever can win the ball at the source.
So no tip?
No tip. Well, look, I I think Gold Coast for me. I think that just off the back of last week, they've lost first 2 games. They've then drawn last week. I think they're getting a bit of momentum, and I think this is a real standpoint for them. Both teams coming off finals last year and probably a disappointing start to their seasons.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go with Gold Coast as well. I feel like when you come off a draw, you kind of have a little bit of fire in your belly. And Charlie Rowbottom's on fire, which when one of your teammates is going so well, you kind of ride the wave with her as well.
Okay, so to that, experts going for the Suns today. Makes things a little bit more interesting.
I wouldn't say going for them.
Here's Maloney, who takes the grab, crosses forward 50. This would be a wonderful goal. The ball just doesn't roll through. It's bouncing out away. That's incredible. It's sometimes just luck of the draw, but they'll get another shot here. And I think the Irish star and Aisling Maloney is be a little bit surprised with the way that ball is bounced, but Friswell is going to have a look at the first shot of the game.
And I'd back her from here as well. I think a really promising start from Geelong too, just to get that ball inside 50, get it deep early and get a shot on goal.
Friswell. Kick is across the face and doesn't quite have the journey in the end. Lauren Bella on the last line of defence for the Suns.
And this is just a little bit of attention to detail, probably from both teams, is making sure you've got someone on the line, no matter where you're kicking it from. Geelong would be disappointed that they didn't have someone at least competing for that ball.
Charlotte Wilson in the back pocket. Still a contest. Darby got upstairs. That's a heavy landing too. Suns come up with it. Darcy involved with an early touch. Kick down the line looking for Davis. Knocked away from her. That's high contact. To Darcy. Beautiful kick to half forward to Bohanna. Now things open up for the Suns. That kick perhaps a little ill-directed. Crocker grills underneath it. Drop the mark. Has time to regather and now off to Webster. Take a bounce. Can have 3 bounces. Over the top to Bowen. Now back to Webster. It kept running. Down the line. Good mark taken by Jackie Perry. Playing game number 50 today. A milestone for her. Shorts it to Scott. Emerson. Good kick of the footy. Pumps it long to a dangerous position. Excellent mark. Daisy Darcy.
Just some really nice ball movement, Grace, at the moment from Geelong. You're seeing, it's now 3-2 inside 50s Gold Coast way, but just the way that Geelong are moving the ball.
Yeah, they're able to draw the players and then get that overlap as well as hit targets going forward, which is working for them so far. They just need to get on the scoreboard now.
Rowbottom and Whitford combined. Now a chance for Fitzpatrick. Trying to keep it alive on the outer side. Randall out of play.
I definitely feel like you can feel the bit of the heated battle between both the teams so far. They're run and gunning. They're getting the overlap carry. I think they both just want to get on the scoreboard early as well.
Seems quite free-flowing as well, early stages.
It does, I think, and again, it's going to be around that, contest who can get their hands on the ball, but get the ball on the outside to get that free-flow movement.
Whitford and McDonald tangle. So many great matchups to look out for today.
Again, you look at Nina Morrison, who's paying a little bit of close attention to Charlie Rowbottom.
Lynch harassed by Bowen. Was pushed off it. Ball close to the line. Darby happy to see it over. I think Charlie Rowbottom is such an interesting player because she is so strong in the contest that I think she's almost untaggable. How do you actually shut her down?
I think it's just shutting it down once she has the ball. It's letting her not get the ball out clean and being able to make it a bit more of a competition in the inside.
Here she is on cue. Sharks the tap. Bombs it to half forward. Geelong had the numbers through the hands of Kearns. Kennedy brought to a halt by Stanton.
Charlie's one of those players on the inside where she's just that extra bit taller than you. So if she's getting it clean, it's just being on her back straight away, being able to being able to get on her back so she can't get it out clean like that.
Morrison jams it on the boot. As far as Clayton, Whitford, and another tackle. Good pressure shown early. These two sides, as we've mentioned, still haven't gotten on the winners list in 2024. Morrison to Maloney. Going to be a free kick against Girvan.
And again, Gervin looking like she's got that matchup on Maloney, which will be an interesting one for today.
Maloney bombs it long. Darcy again, lively early. So these two sides haven't played since round 6 of season 6. So a long time between battles, and the Suns kicked 6 of the last 7 goals that day to win by 11 points.
And I guess that's just the excitement around the AFLW fixturing, is that not everyone plays everyone once throughout the season. So you can go a number of years without playing a certain side.
Bella down a row bottom. Now Whitford. Clearing kick to a contest. Over the back, Bohanna against Featherston. Featherston did well. Back to Kennedy. On the right. A wobbling kick towards half forward. Maloney and Gervin. Boundary line beats them both.
And we just saw that last contest in clearance. We spoke about Lucy Single being out, but Grace, Claudia Whitford's having a hot start early on, isn't she?
Yeah, she's already got 4 disposals. She's in and under. She's already got 3 tackles as well. She's one of those players that also brings that bit of depth in that side, is exactly what Gold Coast need.
Barwick got a handball out, and as far as Morrison. Inside forward 50 Parry. Lynch coming through for the Suns. And the new recruits this year to Whitford. Bunter, she kicked it. Needs to go out of play and a big free kick to Geelong for a last touch rule. So these two sides just feeling each other out at the moment.
It is, and promising signs early for Geelong. They've had the 5 inside 50s to 4, about to have the 6. So they're getting the ball in there. They just need to, get their smalls or their talls at the crumb of the contest.
And Rankin did that. And then found Scott, the kick around the corner towards goal, is over the back and through. Cat strike first.
Well, I hate to say it's commentator's curse, but I started to call it as it happened. They got the ball inside 50. As we have a look at the Chemist Warehouse replay, it's Featherston who's just gone with the inside 50. A great contest to bring the ball to the ground. It was Scott who's just been able to go 1 against 3, brings the ball to the ground. A great crumb there. And again, just if they can get their forwards being lively, Grace, it's just an outstanding way to make sure that they can get the crumb at the contest, move the ball around, and then finish in front of goal.
And the commitment to wearing the long sleeves in 25-degree weather on the Gold Coast, I think, is quite elite from Shelley Scott, who kicks her first goal of season 2024. In the 39th of her career.
And again, a great start from Geelong. We know they went goalless last week, so it's really promising start to get a goal on the board in the first quarter.
Certainly lift their confidence. Up to the Suns to respond. Kick down the line. Wonderfully done by McLaughlin, looking inboard to heave it. Maloney brought to ground. So the Suns lost to St Kilda by 54 points on the Gold Coast in round 1. Lost to Carlton by a point. Dramatic fashion up in Mackay. A draw last week. They've had a bit of everything in season 2024 as Rowbottom is tackled to the turf of Barwick, in fact. And holding the ball is the call. So Crockett Grills to take the free kick for the Cats. Also had a couple of thrilling results. They lost to Melbourne by 2 points in the opening round. A draw against North in round 2. They lost to Carlton by 24 last week. Both sides hungry for the 4 points today. Crockett Grills to a contest. Debutante Thorne hands to it. No mark. Kenny rips it away. Claudio Gunjaka, Featherston. Now to Webster under pressure. Squeezes a kick forward. Sermon, the former Sun. Dribbles it forward. Rankin went without it. Now Rowbottom combines with Mora. Out wide for Membry. Just under pressure a little at the moment, the Suns, and Cats have forced the turnover. They can reload on the wing.
And you just get the feeling, obviously you don't want to use conditions as an excuse, but you're starting to see a little bit of the way that Geelong typically like to play and move the ball. They're getting the, handball receives, long kicks. They're competing a lot better than they were probably last week in those tiring conditions against Carlton.
Big contest at half forward. The The Suns come up with it. Coming through hard is Featherston. Rowan just set upon immediately. Umpire calls play on. Picked up by Barwick. Kick smothered by Featherston. Great pressure shown by the Cats.
You can just see the Geelong step in. It's not the first one, it's the second one. And the pressure, Gold Coast just can't get it past their halfway mark at the minute. But once Geelong do win it back, they're able to hit a target and get the overlap and find the space.
And they're +3 in tackles so far, which is a small number. But like you said, it's that perceived pressure as well that they're applying and making Gold Coast fumble the ball a little bit more.
Maloney looking for McDonald. Handball a little too hot for her. Thorne is caught. And that's holding the ball. Former member of the Suns Academy, Caitlin Thorne, making her debut for the Cats today. This is Mora. Search and kick to half forward. Great one-on-one win there from Anna Rose Kennedy. Now the Cats can take off. Looping hand pass to Webster in the middle of People First Stadium. Sends the Cats into attack. A bouncing ball in front of Darby. Just ran a little bit underneath it and mopped up by Wilson. Combines with Gervin.
Becky Webster's had an amazing start. You can just see her run and carry off the back line, which obviously brings her teammates along as well, being able to open up the ground for her team.
It's Meg McDonald to Kennedy. Cats go back inside the arc. Sermon. It's wrapped up.
And that's two passages of play from Kennedy, who's just opted to take that straight through the corridor option, which is, again, really exciting, but it's dangerous from Geelong.
Wilson to Whitford. Now they link up the Suns. McLaughlin kick into the middle of the ground, looking for Stanton. Again, Kennedy involved. Went without it this time. Picked up by Stanton. Kicks to space. Getting there first is Friswell. Had to beat a couple of Suns and did exactly that to Gunjaka. Kick over the head of Bowen. Whitford, row bottom. Can clean it up on the wing. Davis. That's out of play. Let's get downstairs to Hannah Davies.
Jess, I've just been keeping an eye on the skipper in Meg McDonald. She went down to the bench for a few minutes there, just having the calves rubbed by the physio, but she's back out there, so just one to keep an eye on.
Yes, thank you, Hannah. There's a Davies, a Davis out there, a Daisy Darcy. It's all hard. Tricky for us today. As Katie Lynch takes an intercepting grab. She's a really important pickup for the Suns.
Yeah, she is, and we know Katie Lynch came from obviously Doggies being such a key defender member and critical general down back. We know that she's had a little bit of an injury interrupted pre-season, so it'll be interesting to see how she goes and performs coming back in the side.
She was managed last week, back into the side today. Gervin in the contest, bills to Maloney, can take off and wants to take on. Katie Lynch has a bounce, has a couple of bounces. Does she have the finish? Unsure where to go, snaps it over her head and kicks the goal. Almost got herself into a bit of a pickle there, Ashley Maloney, but good enough to snap it around the corner, and Geelong have a couple on the board.
Well, she's looking dangerous early. If we're looking at what Geelong have been doing, they're opting for that long ball down the line, and if they can get their fast runners, again, Ashley Maloney's not a short player, but she's got the pace, and you just look at how she's taken off there from Katie Lynch, and again, she's opted. I don't think she wants that straight kick, the drop punch. She always opts to go that long around the body, so just great pace there from Ashley Maloney and a good finish. And again, I'll eat my own words, but I think it's great from Geelong that they are starting really hot this game, and you can see what they're coming with early.
As we mentioned off the top, it is must-win territory for Geelong at the moment. If they lose today, they'll essentially have to win 6 out of their last 7 just to even make finals.
We spoke about that early territory, Grace. Geelong now have got a lot of the ascendancy at the moment, especially coming inside 50.
Yeah, they've had 10 inside 50s compared to Gold Coast 4, so you can definitely feel like they're on top of them. It's just that run and carry. They're able to get it through the corridor or get it forward fast, and Gold Coast just aren't prepared for that.
Beautiful kick to Bowen at half forward. He wants to wheel and go and pump it long to a dangerous position in the pocket to a contest. Lynch in front. Picked up by Kenny. Crockett Grills keeps it alive to Sermon. Beautiful sidestep and then kicks it out of bounds on the full.
But again, they're just looking so lively once they get the ball inside 50 Geelong against Sermon. She's been in a couple of involvements. We have a look at some of the major ball winners from Geelong. It's no surprise here, but Webster's leading the way with 6, Nina Morrison 5, and Maloney 5 as well.
Gervin looking for Bella. Dropped it at the last moment. Now the Suns are under pressure again.
And again, we speak about just this retention inside 50. Grace spoke about the inside 50 count, but Geelong's had the last 8 inside 50s.
It's definitely that point in the game when you have a few inside 50s and you're the defenders for the Gold Coast. You feel a bit more pressure than there probably is, but it's just on them to reset and be able to get it out cleanly.
Cats are keeping it locked in their front half at the moment. A chance for Sermon. They kick off the boot. Stays alive. Kenny. Bowen. Slips the tackle. Caught by Gervin. Play on is the call. Friswell had a play at it. Maloney. Snaps to the top of the square. Clayton close to the line. Just bumped off it by Crockett Grills. Suns have the numbers at the top of the square. Scott comes in. Can she find her boot? Gervin just got the handball out. That kick is a turnover straight to Bowen, who centers the kick, has an option, and that's a free kick. And Nita Morrison will line up for the Cats' third.
And again, just drawing that free kick, Nina Morrison. Kiva tried to come in and contest that ball. I think, especially as midfielders, Grace, the importance on that switch kick, you got to make sure that you're on your toes.
Yeah, you always got to be prepared. And more than most times you're on. So yeah, when you hit it inboard and get that kick.
Nina Morrison comes in. The shot is on its way, and the Cats are on fire early on the Gold Coast.
And again, you're just seeing this pressure Grace has spoken about earlier. Inside 50, Gold Coast had the numbers back, but it's just that forward pressure that the key forwards are coming at. They're not allowing the time and space for Gold Coast to be able to work that ball out. And again, it was just a missed kick, but great from Bowen to get the intercept mark and then have the awareness to be able to hit Nina Morrison in the middle of the corridor. They're looking on and looking dangerous early, Geelong.
So 3 straight goals to Geelong as we tick down towards quarter time. They were held goalless last week against Carlton. This is an impressive response from last year's preliminary finalists. The time for one more for the Suns, just to give themselves a confidence boost going into quarter time. Kearns emerges with it. Beautiful kick to find Jackie Parry. Good mark. Paid to Wilson, no. Paid to Kenny in front. The siren might beat the Cats, it does. But it's a bright start, although that might roll all the way. No one touched it. And that's going to be a goal to the Cats. Incredible stuff. So quarter time here at People First Stadium. 4 straight goals to Geelong, including one on the siren. They lead 4 straight 24 to the Gold Coast, yet to score.
Well. A goal after the siren puts Geelong 4 goals up. 4-0, 24 leading the Gold Coast Suns. Yet to score. The home team struggling to get it past halfway. And the Geelong looking pretty good in the opening quarter. Well, I tell you what a game. What a game the Geelong girls are doing. Let's have a look at some of the stats though. Claudia Whitford leading the way in the disposal count for the Gold Coast. Eddie G, what's going on? Geelong double looks like it. Oh boy. I don't know. You reckon? I tell you what, I don't know who's going to win that other game. I'm just worried that Geelong looked better than they actually did because Port was so bad and Brisbane looked so good. But it was a hard, tough game. Whether they got some injuries out of that game with, is it Lockie Whitfield? No. Is it the other one? His foot or ankle or Zorko's? One of those. I don't know. It could be interesting though. Could be very, very interesting. Let me just have a little bit of a glance. My gosh, where are we? Latest matches. Match report. There we go. You hope Brisbane win. You want a Sydney-Brisbane grand final. Yeah, I don't know. It could be. You know what? I think that's gonna be the best result for a grand final to actually watch. Because sometimes Geelong don't always bring their A game and they can get blown out of the water. So we don't want that to happen. And Sydney looked pretty good last night. I'll tell you what, they were on song last night. There we go. Claudia Whitford leading away with 9 disposals, 5 kicks, 4 handballs, 1 mark, 3 tackles. If the sound sounds a little bit different, folks, that is because I haven't got my microphone in. I've got to keep my phone charged, ready for the big game later on this evening, which is going to be a cracker. Rebecca Webster there for Geelong, leading the way with Nina Morris and Darcy Maloney, all with 6. Interstate Grand Final is better. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit different here in Melbourne, I guess, when you got 2 interstate sides. You know, that being said, Geelong are down the road. They're not really in Melbourne. They're out a little bit as well. So, but I don't know. Look, all we want is a good close grand final. We don't want one of these ones that are gonna bust out with a big lead and then it's over at half time and then it's just a boring game. You want a close game, like the Sydney Giants or the Hawthorn Port Adelaide game. That's what we're looking for. We want a close game for the grand final. That is for sure. Agree. Yo. That's it. That's the way we've got to. Always makes it inside. Look at that. We've got 4 goal scorers, all different goal scorers on the game so far in the opening quarter. Shelley Scott, Nina Morris, and Aisling Maloney and Kate Kenny. There we go. And of course, they actually got. Let's have a look at some of the team stats before we get back. And it's Geelong by only 5 in the disposal count. And there we go. Pretty even. They got 13 more kicks. But the Suns handballing what? Look at inside 50s, 5 to the Gold Coast and 12 to Geelong. I'm surprised. I can't even remember the Gold Coast getting it in there that much. But there we go. Geelong just keep pressing. Free kicks, 3 to 4. Hit-outs, it's the Suns in the hit-outs. Any other majors here? Not really. Everything's reasonably tight. Geelong grabbing the ball a bit more. They do look a little bit cleaner. Geelong, and especially going forward, 2 marks inside 50. And I tell you what, that kick just before the siren went, and none of the Gold Coast defenders got back to defend it, and it just rolled and dribbled over the line for a goal. There we go. That's the Cats by 4 goals. Good stuff, Ryan. And Addie G for coming in. Let me take you back down to the ground, and the commentators will take us in to the second quarter.
And just well done by Kate Darby as well to protect the ball.
Yeah, knew what was happening, and when she realised that it was going to roll through, she made sure that Gervin couldn't get a hand on it. So this is a bright response indeed from the Cats, who lost to Carlton by 24 points last week, and they've hit the ground running on the Gold Coast against the Suns, who did not score in that opening quarter. Let's get straight down to ground level because Hannah Davies is with the Gold Coast Suns coach Cameron Joyce.
Cameron, not the start you would have wanted from the side. What was the message at quarter time?
Yeah, I think the first 5 minutes, we probably had 3 or 4 inside 50s and weren't able to sort of capitalise on that. And then the ball switched and obviously the game was played in their half, right? We had enough of the ball, but in terms of our ability to move the ball between the arcs, some execution in terms of skill, and also us being a bit more bold and brave with the ball. So that's what we're looking to do now.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks very much.
Thank you to Hannah and Cameron downstairs. So we were really intrigued to see how this midfield battle would play out in this game. To quarter time, the Suns are up in the contested possession count. But as Cameron just touched on there, Grace, just some issues with ball movement, skill and turnovers. At the moment, as Whitford streaming out of the middle towards full forward, here's a chance for the Suns. Davis, though, locks it up at the top of the square.
Yeah, as we've seen, Whitford started the game off really strong. She's got 10 disposals and 6 of those are contested possessions. She's someone that you really look for when Charlie's needs a bit of help in that midfield, and she's obviously stepping up in this game.
Here is Rowbottom, threw it out on that occasion, caught with the footy.
And again, how's that matchup between Rowbottom and Nina Morrison? She's doing quite well. I think Rowbottom's influence hasn't quite been there just yet. She's running at the 33 kicking percent efficiency. So again, just doing really well, Nina Morrison, to eliminate some of her impact early on in this game.
Finds Emerson with a beautiful kick there, down the line from Maloney. Such a great goal in the opening quarter. Follows at ground level, releases Crockett Grills. Off to Morrison, who's run from the back line and has a bounce, wants to take him on. He's in a bit of trouble. Backwards to Maloney. Blasts it to half forward. Bowen in the contest. Coming through Wilson. Bella. They link it up at half back. Darcy. Have a bounce along the boundary line. Kicks to a one-on-one. Great win from Darcy Davis.
Sarah, if you were Gold Coast, what would you do at this point of the game? What would you want from your teammates?
Well, I think we've just got to look at the way that they're moving the ball at the moment. This is obviously what Cameron Jost has spoken about. It's just their ability to hit targets exactly like that inside. So they were running at 33% kicking efficiency in the first quarter, and all of a sudden you've seen just the way that they've been able to link up off half back using that handball chain and then be able to hit the ball with their kick. So I think, you know, stay calm and composed because they've got the skill to do it. It's just being able to execute. And again, you look at Jamie Stanton here, so talk about big moments and standing up for your team. Her leadership, even last week, just to draw the game, was huge. So this will be a huge moment for her to kick a goal.
Would love to see her celebration today.
28-year-old. This is a big kick for the Suns. For the first of the afternoon, she sprayed it wildly out of bounds on the full.
Now it's in this moment as well, just to stay calm, but get your forwards and your midfielders to make sure that they lock it in their forward half.
They need some time in their forward half. Forward 50 is a dangerous kick. Darby over the top. Made the mark as Rowbottom was about to run into goal.
Tell you what, that's a bit stiff for Rowbottom.
And it's going to be a 50-minute penalty. I didn't quite catch what that was for, but Darby will be marched into the centre of Carrara.
Possibly descent, because I didn't see too much around the ball.
Lovely read of the ball from Gervin, who takes off. Sends it to the outer side, looking for Bahana. Against McDonald, bumped her off it. Coming through Webster. Swoops. Neat kick to Friswell. Back to Webster. Run and carry.
As a forward, you'd probably want to start manning up on Webster. You know she's had the run and carry a few times, and it's created goals for Geelong, as we're seeing so far. So I feel like that's something where they've got to be on their toes and shut that one down.
Crockett Grills keeps it alive. Maloney, can she get a second step around the corner? Unbelievable skill from the Irishwoman.
Jason, wasn't that huge? Again from Maloney to kick a second. We mentioned before about her kicking style, Grace, but it's that snap around the body. But for me, Geelong, it's their turnover game at the moment. In that first quarter, they had the 4 goals kicked from turnover. 2 of those were from the forward half intercepts. You have a look at this from Crockett Grills, just to keep the ball alive as well. Maloney, that 1-on-2. Just a great execution under pressure for me. But again, it's that turnover game that's getting dangerous for Geelong, or dangerous for Gold Coast at the moment, that they need to eliminate that quick play-on game.
6 disposals, 4 inside 50s, and a couple of goals to Ashley Maloney. Debuted in the AFLW last season, and Suns defence just gave him a little bit too much room on that occasion. Morrison out of the middle. Fisher involved. Now it comes the way of Fitzpatrick to Rowbottom. Up towards half forward. Off the boot of Kearns. Morrison.
Nina Morrison has been very influential from the start of the game today. She's definitely brought that leadership which we're seeing. And yeah, 10 disposals so far and 9 contested is a great start for her.
Scott towards the goal line. Sermon got a hand in there against Darcy, and we'll have it tossed back in. Deep in Geelong's attack. 5 goals straight. They kicked 5 behinds for the entire game last week against Carlton. What a turnaround it has been. What is a must-win game for them. Let's head downstairs and check in with Hannah Davies.
Thanks, Jex. We've just got Meg McDonald back on the boundary now, again with the physios. She's just been worked on with the quads this time rather than the calves.
I'm just getting some treatment down there. Thanks the skipper. Thanks, Hannah. Bella down to Rowbottom to Whitford. Kicks out of the danger zone, but it's going to come back as Gunjaka read that best. To half forward. And we're going to have a ball up. Crowd getting involved today at People First Stadium.
And you have a look at those inside 50 counts, 17 to 8. It's huge from Geelong. And Grace, you talk about obviously what it's like as a player out there. So Geelong are 30 or plus 30 on the scoreboard. What's it like feeling, you know, for Gold Coast to be able to come back after this quick start?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of pressure out there. You'd feel it amongst your teammates, but it's just coming back to the basics again. Being able to go back to your basics, get it out clean, and bring that leadership within the team to be able to come back.
Sermon and Darcy scrap for it. Gets out to Thorne, the first gamer.
We have seen in the AFLW, you can come back from a 30-point lead. It's just being able to bring the depth and find the space and find each other to be able to bring that.
They had to come from behind last week, the Suns, as Bella extracts it. Bounce didn't favour Clayton. She wraps up Darby and earns herself a free kick.
This is that time of the game where you'd want Gold Coast to be able to take it on and be able to find the free and get it down and hopefully get a score. So it would be great to see how they attack this.
Down the line looking for Barwick, knocked away from her, and we'll have it tossed back in. Beautiful conditions on the Gold Coast today, 25 degrees, sunny, not a cloud in the sky.
And you feel for Geelong because, as we mentioned, the conditions that they played in last week as well, which we're seeing the way that they're able to move the ball today a lot better in good conditions.
It's just been an up and down year for them. I mean, the first game against Melbourne could have gone either way, and it did. Melbourne by 2 points. They came back late and would have taken confidence out of that draw with North Melbourne, and then had just a bad day against Carlton. So a mixed bag for the Cats so far. And what they need is wins on the board. And they've certainly hit the ground running today. Now up to the Suns to respond. They desperately need some confidence. This guy Hannah has bumped off it.
Yeah, once again, Geelong are just bringing that pressure that Gold Coast can't seem to get it past that halfway mark. Geelong are just turning up in numbers, and it's not just at the ball, it's being one-on-ones for down the line as well.
Featherston wins the tap. Rowbottom. Now Barwick. And Crossan, the fumble. Fights for it at ground level. It's tackled by Friswell. Good to see today, the Suns, all 4 of their Irish players playing together for the first time today. So here's McLaughlin, Clara Fitzpatrick, Lauren McConville and Cara McCrossan all out there today.
Shout out to all the Irish girls playing AFLW. There's about 34 of them, I think, now.
Incredible.
They just bring such an excitement to the game.
It's a feature of the AFLW too, as a couple of Suns collide.
Another Irish girl there.
Who's your favourite Irish player to play with? Favourite one you like to watch is Barwick, kick out of bounds on the full.
Well, we at Richmond, we haven't got any Irish players at the moment, so I think I'd also be in a lot of trouble if I didn't say Sarah Rowe, who's my other tagged co-host.
The Irish bring a lot of speed and a bit, they definitely go 100% when they play, so it's always nice to have the Irish in your team. You know, when they've got the ball, they're just going to run and carry, bounce it differently, kick the ball differently. They've always got something, a bit more excitement. We might need to speak to our list manager and get an Irish in our team.
Well, you speak about it's most of these Irish girls have played Gaelic football, which is, from my understanding, I haven't seen a lot of it, but is less contact. So just the way that they're able to manipulate their body awareness and spatial awareness is a different style. They've got a lot of speed, as you mentioned, Grace.
Robot with the fender for Maloney. Looking for Mora. Kept it alive, only as far as Kearns. Kick is intercepted by Darcy Davis, one of 3 Davis sisters in the AFLW, and there is a 4th, Georgia, coming through the ranks at the moment. Kicks into the pocket. Daisy Darcy. Whitford to Fitzpatrick. And now McLaughlin trying to break free. Find a teammate. Randall. Hurry kick into the pocket. Bohanna from behind. Brought it to ground. Gunjaka, the ever-reliable Cats defender. Kicks looking for Scott. Spills to Kenny. That is a beautiful kick into the path of Jackie Parry in her 50th milestone game. Can run towards goal and kick a 6 for Geelong. End-to-end stuff from the Cats, and they are putting on a clinic.
Grace, this turnover game from Geelong is just huge. Have a look, it's come out of their defensive 50, a great contest and half. You just have a look at this long kick down the line into a one-on-one. Nearly all of their players were pushed up in their forward half, and Jackie Parry just had awareness to get the ball out the back. But this turnover game is absolutely killing Gold Coast at the moment. Just the transition from Geelong has been outstanding.
So Jackie Parry, the 28-year-old who debuted back in 2020, originally out of Queanbeyan and AFL Canberra, played a couple of seasons with Melbourne before heading to the Cattery. Gets a game in her 50th milestone game. Robot him out of the middle. Featherston pounces on it to Kenny. Go forward again, the Cats. Maloney, can she kick it third? Not this time. And the first blemish of the afternoon for the Cats. 6 goals, 1. And the Suns are yet to score.
Now, we have a look at that centre bounce as well. Now, Charlie Rowbottom, I get the feeling in this second quarter, Grace, she's leading the way from the front. The contested possessions, everything that she's doing at the moment, she's trying to stand up and help bring that team forward.
Yeah, she's definitely an inside ball there. She's got 5 contested possessions so far. She's getting just in this quarter alone. So she's stepping in. She's trying to lift, bring her team along for the ride. Here she is again. She's one of those players that steps up in these moments.
She's doing everything she can, Charlie Rowbottom, to inspire her side. Unfortunately, in the back there.
That one's just unlucky, but like it's even things like that. She might have got a kick against her, but it brings her team along, and you need those types of moments to bring the energy back.
Maloney keeps it alive to Darby, hooks the kick around the corner, a centering ball to Bowen.
God, they're looking dangerous. And again, that's Michaela Bowen as well. I feel like she's having a great game as a small forward. 7 disposals early. She had that selfless kick to Nina Morrison that centred it, but this one she'll go back and should slot this from about 25 out.
Right behind the kick. Just fades late.
Sorry, Michaela Bowen, I spoke too soon. Now have a look again. The 6 goals that Geelong have got have all come from turnover. So, Grace, we speak about how quick Geelong are getting the ball forward. What did Gold Coast need to do to stop that ball coming out so quickly on turnover?
Well, we've watched numerous of times. Becky Webster's getting that overlap, that running carry. They're finding the space through the corridor and then being able to get it out the back and get fast, get behind their players and get forward. So you just need to shut that one down first. It might be stepping in before they can even get that running carry.
So Geelong's highest score this season, 6 goals, 440 against Melbourne in their loss in round 1. We've almost hit that. We still got 4 minutes to play in the first half. They win it in the middle again. Featherston
Once again, we're seeing here Geelong, they're getting the run and carry, but as you can't see on the screen, Geelong is set up really well around the ball.
And have players out everywhere. Friswell marks in space and can turn around and have a look at Geelong's 7th.
Yeah, they're not crowding at the ball. They've got players set up forward as well as players set up behind the ball as well, which is what's working for them. And you can see when they do win it, they've got those players forward to be able to kick it to.
Pick number 7 back in the 2021 draft, Zali Friswell. Really growing in stature every year. And Geelong are putting on a clinic on the Gold Coast.
God, you just have a look again. I know I've mentioned it a number of times now, but this turnover game that Geelong are eliminating, Gold Coast tried to work that ball out from their back half through hands, and just this forward pressure from Geelong is outstanding. They're moving the ball quickly. They're able to execute under pressure, Grace. And as you mentioned, they're set up forward of the ball to be able to get that, and a great finish from Friswell. But Gold Coast really need to eliminate this turnover game.
Well, we wanted to see a response from Geelong today, and I think we've got it. We're quite stunned here at the moment. 3 minutes to play in the first half, and 7 goals to nothing. Morrison head over the footy. Daisy Darcy wraps her up.
Can we talk about Featherston being the second ruck? So she's now almost playing as a 4th mid, and you just look at her follow-up work there. I feel like she's having an influence as well. Speak again. But we know that Geelong have been undersized in the ruck, but it seems to be working for them today.
Whitford to Stanton to Clayton. Bangs it forward. And Geelong are well set. McDonald close to the line. Spears it down the boundary line. It's a nice mark by Maloney.
Once again, Geelong, they're just well set up behind the play, but also to be able to explode and see where the free kicks are. Find the free player, get it going forward. Once again, the run and carry, getting it going. They're not waiting for Gold Coast to be able to set up.
McDonald just under pressure as she kicked it inside forward 50. Parry looking for Darby on the right, and Suns on the last line of defence. McLaughlin.
Sarah, there's not long left of the quarter. If you were playing in the Gold Coast team right now, what kind of things would you be going into the halftime wanting to let your teammates know? What would you want to...
Bowen, they've got players out everywhere.
Sorry, I'll come back to you, Grace.
Bowen to Parry, who can line up for another goal.
Well, again, you just look at the way that Geelong are able to move this ball. They explode off turnover. I think Gold Coast, from an effort perspective, you want everyone to stand up. So they need their key players to take their moments. You've got Whitford and Rowbottom who are trying to work really hard in that midfield area. But I think they need to come out firing with something else. You can start to look at maybe moving some of the magnets to get a few more numbers around the ball or get some momentum.
To make it 8 in a row. And Parry has a couple.
And again, this is now starting to look quite, well, obviously very dangerous for Gold Coast, and they're in sort of that hot water territory. They haven't kicked a goal. It's almost a flip of Geelong of what they had last week, Grace. They're just, again, anything Geelong are doing right now is impacting. They're able to move the ball by foot. They're efficient. They've got numbers out. I think the bigger ground plays in their factor today. And a great finish again from Parry. She's just having a real influence. The 2 goals in her 50th game.
So the Cats bring up the half century as we approach half time at People First Stadium. They've absolutely dominated in this opening half against the Suns, who just desperately need to find something and head into half time with a little bit of confidence and just try and settle. It's just they haven't looked like they've been able to settle at all this afternoon.
Oh, they haven't. It's just, again, that ball movement forward. The pressure from Geelong has just been outstanding.
They move it forward again. Kenny out to meet it to Bowen. He's been lively today. Kick is a turnover inside forward 50. Randall. It's backwards for Wilson. Another young Peavett, the 18-year-old. They'll be happy just to go into half-time without conceding another goal here. But it's a free kick going the way of the Cats, and if first quarter was anything to go by, they can score pretty quickly. But this time, safe to say the siren might beat them. Half-time, and what a performance it has been in the opening half to the Geelong Cats, trying to get their first win of the season and kickstart their season in 2024 in their bid to make finals once more. 8 goals to 50 plays the Suns yet to score. It is already Geelong's highest score in season 2024, and they have just been absolutely dominant. A couple of goals to Jackie Parry and Aisling Maloney, singles to Nina Morrison, Kate Kenny, Shelley Scott, Zali Friswell, and Nina Morrison. 15 disposals in the opening half, including 7 clearances and a goal, 5 tackles. She's been in everything. Michaela Bowen has played a really important role. 11 disposals, 4 score involvements as well. And Becky Webster, 9 disposals, 4 inside 50s. Her run off half-back has been important. If you look at the Suns, Claudia Whitford up to 15 disposals, 4 clearances, 4 tackles, 2 inside 50s for her. But this Suns group, as they come together on the wing, just trying to settle things down and maybe head into half-time and try and turn this around. But let's get down to ground level to Hannah Davies.
Michaela, what a response from your side to go from goalless last week to 8 in just the half. Talk me through the last 7 days. What's been the change?
It's probably off the back of the fact that we don't feel like we need to change a whole lot. Like, not to take away from the fact that we recognise the performance of last week and just don't identify ourselves as a team that play that way. So, regardless of the weather today, hot, hail, rain, we just wanted to come out and play the brand that we know. And 8-10 goals is what we're after. So,
well, you absolutely are. Well done, and good luck for the second half.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you to Hannah Davies downstairs. Well, what have the Gold Coast Suns got in the second half? They've been completely outplayed by a dominant Geelong side, looking for the first win of the season. Plenty more to come after the break. At half-time, and it's Geelong by 50.
Harvey Norman, 10% in gift.
All right, there we go. Wowee. So far, this game is a one-act affair, folks, as you can see. Geelong 5, 8 to 50. Gold Coast Suns yet to score. Sniper Ryan, thanks for hanging in there, boys. I really don't know, and I can't see how the Suns are actually going to score a goal in this game at the moment. The Suns just look slow. They look slow. They don't seem to be spreading the ball, making space for each other, whereas Geelong, they look good. They look strong. They've got run. They're spreading the ball. They're finding spaces. They're creating for each other. They're looking good. They've learnt from last week, and they've come out firing in this first half today. 50 points up. Wowee. Up at People's First Stadium, where it's a beautiful day there, as they said. It's about 20 degrees, 22 degrees up there on the Gold Coast. Sunshine, a little bit warm, but I tell you what, that's a perfect day for football. The Suns just not making the most of it. Hopefully in the second half, third quarter, they can actually get on the board, make a little bit of a game of it. I think they'll be fighting for a little bit of pride now in this second half. Try and get their structures right, get a little bit of gameplay right, get a little bit of run and carry, get a little bit of speed on the ball. Doing a little bit too much handballing, I feel. And just not spreading the ball enough. And of course, the Geelong defenders are just closing in, putting that pressure on them, not allowing Gold Coast to go too far. Well, let's have a little bit of a look at the team, at the player stats. Claudia Whitford there, although not scoring at all. There we go. She leads the way on top for the disposal count with Nina Morrison. So one for Gold Coast, one for Geelong. There we go, both with 15, both having reasonably good games. Charlie Rowbottom there next best on 11 with Daisy Darcy. Of course, Michaela Bowen on 11 also for the Cats. It's just rolled down. Darcy Maloney there, having a reasonably good game there. 8 possessions, 7 marks, 1 handball. I should say 7 kicks, 1 handball, 1 mark, 1 tackle. Let's keep rolling down the page. Jalia Friswell, 6 possessions, 3 kicks. She's kicked a goal there for the Catters. Clara Fitzpatrick, just the 4 there. Megan McDonald with 3. And as we roll down, there we go. Let's go back up. Let's have a look at the goal scorers here. They were kicking very accurate. That was one good thing I was enjoying to see. There's a lot of accurate kicking on the scoreboard here today from Geelong. Got 2 multiple goal scorers, Jacqueline Parry and, of course, Ashley Maloney, both with 2 goals each for the girls. Of course, Maloney's got it behind as well. 2 goals, 1. The leading goal scorer, point scorer on the ground, Shelley Scott, Nina Morrison, Kate Kenny, Azali Friswell are the other single goal scorers for Geelong. As I said, no goals yet being kicked by the Gold Coast. So hopefully, we see a little bit of change in direction, folks. A little bit of will, a little bit of grit and grind and fight and bite. Let's go. Come on, Gold Coast. Nina Morrison there tops the charts on the fantasy points if you play that game. 71 points up until half time. That's a pretty good score. Claudia Whitford on 57. The rest below that. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the team stats before we take you back to the commentators. Actually, we'll take you back to the commentators now, and if we have time, we'll come back to look at the team stats.
Suns in the opening half, 8 goals to 50, and the Suns are yet to score a couple of goals each to Jackie Parry and Aisling Maloney, the key goal kickers for the Cats. Absolute dominance from the opening bounce. They led by 24 points at quarter time and slammed on another 4 unanswered goals in the second half. The Suns with a lot of work to do at halftime. Jess Webster and Sarah Hosking with you in commentary. Hosco, how do you sum up that first half from the Cats?
Oh, well, it was just extremely dominant from Geelong. You just look at their work around the ground. I did say earlier that I thought it was going to be a really contested game, and it was around the contested possessions and clearances. They're relatively even, but it's what Geelong's been able to do on the outside. Using their uncontested possessions, they're plus 11, or plus 12, sorry, plus 32 in kicks. Now, what they've been able to do is absolutely demolish Gold Coast on turnover. Most of their goals, I think it's at least 7 goals have come from turnover, which is huge. So what they've been able to do is get the ball on turnover and then explode. They're using the run and carry out the back. They're just absolutely dominating them.
This was in the moments just after the halftime siren, the Gold Coast Suns girls coming together and having a bit of a chat. And you can see Jamie Stenton in there on the left, just having a bit of a chat to her girls. Have you ever been in a scenario like this, Hosco?
I'd love to say no, but I think I definitely have. And you look at this, I do love this from Jamie Stenton, is she's not waiting for the moment to get inside and listen to the coach. Like, this is a moment where players need to act on their own, and she's trying to rev up her team and make sure that they can get some sort of liveliness. And coming out at halftime, you know, their performance, they would not be happy with their performance at all right now.
Absolutely not. There's a lot on the line for the Suns as well. They're still searching for their first win of the season. As we take a look at the halftime highlights, thanks to Chemist Warehouse, and it was really a free-flowing affair from the opening bounce. Actually, Maloney is her speed is something else, and she's kicked a couple of really good goals in the opening half. But it's just the spread of contributors amongst Geelong at the moment that will be one of the big positives.
Spot on, and they've got 6 different goal kickers so far. Maloney's got the 2, Parry with the 2, and then you look at Morrison, Friswell, Kenny and Scott. They're all getting on the scoreboard and scoring through different avenues. So we spoke about how dangerous they've been. It's not just through one person at the moment. I think Gold Coast are just struggling to actually, you know, eliminate what they're doing across the board as a whole.
So the Suns fans are keeping positive in the stands, but what can Gold Coast muster in this second half? They've got a lot of work to do. It is currently Geelong absolutely dominating. They lead by 50 points at halftime.
All right, while they're on a break, folks, let's get back to the team stats and have a little bit of a look. As they said, I tell you what, this is just domination by Geelong here today. The Suns just can't stop them, and of course, the Suns came together before they walked off the ground there, and of course one of their players got in the middle and tried to give their team a rev up and telling them, come on, we need to do better than this. This isn't our way of football. So we'll see what and how the Gold Coast can respond to when they come out in the third quarter. 20 possessions, 20 disposals is what the Cats lead by. There we go, 32 kicks. Suns, as I said before, the Suns handballing it more than they're kicking. They're just trying to over handball, and that's just the pressure being put on. Stick the ball on your boot, create a little bit of space, and you'll hit your target. Inside 50s. I tell you what, there's a surprise. 13 to 25. 13 for the Gold Coast. I can remember it going in there a couple of times. That's about it. 25 for Geelong. It feels like it's in there just about all quarter. So there we go. 25 for 10 scoring shots. That is fantastic there by Geelong. Efficiency around the ground, 60, a little bit below for the Gold Coast, 74 Cats. That's getting up there what it should be around efficiency inside 50. Well, 15% for the Gold Coast. As I said, they need to lift. 64, the Cats. That is a good number there, folks. Inside 50 efficiency. 7 free kicks all. Yeah, look, it's a reasonably cleanly contested event here today. Nothing too untoward in the tackle department. Stoppages. The hitouts, it is the Suns in the hitouts, but they're just not hitting it down to advantage to their player. That's what we need. The run-through players to get the mids working well with their ruckman, their ruck woman, whichever way you want to say it. You get that advantage, especially when you're dominating in the ruck, 23 to 10. Clearances, centre clearances, stoppage clearances, all pretty even there. Contested possessions, it is the Catters by 7. Uncontested by 11. Turnovers, well, it's only 3 the difference. There we go. Surprising. The Cats did seem to look a lot cleaner. Time in possession for the match, though, 49%. Big numbers there for the Cats, 35 for the Gold Coast. 17-27, Cats doing all the marking in there, but the mark's inside 50. The Cats finding space, leading for each other, playing for each other, working for each other down there in the forward 50. As I said, creating space, lowering the eyes, and hitting their targets up well. 6-1, and the mark's inside 50. Cats way. All right. Let's go and have a look at the defensive tackles there. Both teams tackling reasonably well there. 26 to 28. Tackles inside 50. Geelong doing a little bit better there. 6 to 3. And the bounces 8 to 1 there to the Cats, and the 1%ers both pretty much doing that. A little bit of a warm day there. They're both used over 50% of their interchanges, which are made, of course. They've got 60 interchanges per game they can use. 31 the Gold Coast, 36 the Cats. Cats probably used a little bit more because of the warm weather, and probably not used to that type of temperature playing footy, whereas the Gold Coast certainly are. Oh, let me take this back up here. And we won't be too far away, I think, folks, before the start of the third term. So we will be back. Here we are. The commentators are back. Spot on time. Let's head back down to the ground.
Heading against the Suns, 8 goals to 50. The Suns yet to score at half-time. The Cats certainly are shining on the Gold Coast at the moment. Jess Webster, Sarah Hosking and Grace Egan with you on commentary. Grace, you really like the work of Nina Morrison in the first half.
Yeah, Nina's been amazing. She's absolutely a star in the making. Obviously, without Press Parkers, you need players like Nina to step up, and she's just proven that. We've seen her line up on Rowbottom to start with, but I don't think it was a tag, more of a bit of attention. But it's going to show that she doesn't even need to tag her. She's gone and played her own game, getting 15 disposals, 12 clearances, 1 goal and 7 clearances and 12 contested possessions with 1 goal. I mean, she's had a massive impact in the first half, and it'd be great to see how she'll go in the second half. I'm sure she'll bring just the same footy again.
So throw down the challenge to the Suns have the Cats. They're on their way to their first win of the season. They simply had to win today if they are any chance of making finals and leaving no stone unturned. But still a half a footy to come. We're underway in the third quarter. Morrison right on cue, gets the handball out, but it's a turnover as Clayton links up with McLaughlin, delivers beautifully to Stanton. At half forward, kick a wobbly one into the pocket and is out of bounds.
And again, good confidence early to be able to get an inside 50 count. So coming in early, you just want to make sure the Gold Coast here, they're lively, they're on their toes. You want to win this stoppage.
Rowbottom close to the line, keeps it alive. He's turned it over.
And again, 2 clearances early from Rowbottom. So speaking about some of those players, Rowbottom and Whitford have been outstanding so far trying to carry the team, but they need a few other players to come and stand up.
Kennedy to a contest, Parry. A couple of goals to her in the first half. Bella taps it down. McDonald. Handball and boards a good one to Maloney. Cats go forward again. Maloney, the target of the Aisling variety, spills to Sermon. Gives it off to Ashley Maloney. She does have some jets on her. She tries to get around Fitzpatrick and does a slant on her third.
Well, take a look again. It's just that explosive turnover. I think it was Amy McDonald who started that chain from about half back. As we have a look the way, here we go. She goes straight into the corridor and hits Maloney. We know Maloney's such a young, exciting player, but she's a great ball user. So just to be able to create a contest there, we'll have a look now. That I think is that the third goal that we've got as well from McDonald?
She's equalled her career best, 3 goals in a single match for Ashley Maloney. What an exciting talent she is up forward for the Geelong Cats, and they've just picked up where they left off in the first half. 9 straight goals as we get downstairs to Hannah Davies.
A pretty incredible start from Geelong, no doubt. And the message from the Gold Coast at halftime, a pretty clear one. Stand up and show some fight in this second half.
Hannah, pretty clear words indeed. It is Geelong all over them at the moment. Maloney to Crockett Grills. There's a bounce. No pressure with the kick. Gervin. Looking for support to Wilson. We're going to have a ball in.
Just on that one, Gold Coast just need to get it out and down the line to create that contested possession down the line instead of allowing the Geelong to force them and get the ball out and have a reset in their forward 50.
Bella in front position, down to Sermon on the Sun.
Just having a little look here. It looks like Katie Lynch is playing as a +1 behind the contest.
Bella to Rowbottom outside of the boot, and that's out of bounds on the full. So another repeat inside 50 entry coming up for the Cats. They've still had 14 chances inside 50 so far, the Suns, but haven't really looked dangerous.
No, they haven't. I think if they can, they've got to get a deeper entry inside 50.
Morrison into the pocket for Maloney. Beautiful kick. Darcy can have an opportunity to get in on the action. Another of these young Cats guns. Tight angle from the pocket. It's across the face. Parry. Is that mark going to be paid? Almost. She had a big piece of it.
Lucky not to get that mark.
And just having a little look to the umpire going, come on.
Fair enough too. I hope you see the replay, but I think she did a good job of trying to get it.
So takes it out of the road, back to ball almost. Finds a way through. Desperate stuff from Rowbottom.
And just have a look at all the numbers here. 3 Gold Coast players standing behind the ball in front of goal. Be careful to make sure that Geelong are going to have numbers behind this contest.
Randall squeezes a kick forward. Clayton involved. Bohanna, a long way from home. This is just where it's broken down for the Suns. Haven't been able to get any kind of continuity or flow, but that's a really good attack on the footy from Mora.
It is, and that's awesome. That's great work from Gold Coast, just to be able to stop the ball there. Now, stepping in as soon as she gets that ball and just creating another stoppage at halfway mark just allows them to get a bit more territory forward.
Bohanna. Was she helped with that as she was, so the free kick to the Suns skipper. Sten offers a lead. Bohanna, just great smother on the mark from Maloney. Fitzpatrick to Gaelic footy stars. Go head to head. Darcy farms out a handball, goes in again. Maloney, though, picks it up for the Cats to Meg McDonald and Morrison. Great user of the footy, and that's no exception. They link up again in the middle of the ground, the Cats. Here's Becky Webster. Over the top to Michaela Bowen. Now Crocker Grills back to Webster, who kept running. Looks towards goal, and Scott marks in the goal square. They can do no wrong, Geelong.
They're just playing the ground a lot better, and especially, I've spoken a number of times now, just that explode off turnover and being able to spread the ground and make it really hard for Gold Coast to defend.
Shelley Scott, top of the square, kicks through her second, and it is 10 goals to the Cats. Take a look at our Medibank, a mind-blowing moment, and some of the football on display from the Cats today has been first class.
It has, and you have a little look at Becky Webster as well, who's running through the middle of the ground. Grace spoke about her earlier, just her influence on the game early for the first half. She's been outstanding, just being able to control that ball, get it in deep, and Shelley Scott rewarded with that goal inside 50 in that one-on-one contest, and now has 2 for the game.
A couple of goals to Shelley Scott, and brings up her 40th career goal in the AFLW. And the Suns yet to fire a shot. Rowbottom working hard off to Darcy. Scrubs it forward, Stan collects. Snaps inside forward 50, a bouncing ball. Chance for memory. Is this their chance? To Bohanna, the skipper, who dribbles past the Suns of the day.
Well, it's great that they finally got a goal on board in their captain, Tara Bohanna. She took a moment before where she kicked into the player on the mark, but this time she made sure she got it. You just have a look at that separation. Gold Coast being able to bring the ball through the middle of the corridor. Their forwards were isolated. And Bohanna just able to sneak out the back for a little goal. Nice little snap around the body, and this may be some of the momentum they need just to get a few more goals on board.
Tara Bohanna kicks the Suns first of the afternoon. I'll get my words out eventually. And goal number 38, and sits number 1 on the all-time Gold Coast Suns goal-kicking list. Still a long way back, but we finally got a goal on the board as Maloney sends the Cats forward. Scott, nice contested mark.
I wouldn't put it past her to take a shot from here as well, Scott. We know she does have a long leg. She's been known to be able to go for long shots as well. She's always reliable. We know she played down at Melbourne a few years back, but she's been great since she transitioned into Geelong's forward line.
And this to equal her PB of 3 goals in a game. Shelley Scott from 40 out. Does it have the journey? Not quite. And that's hit the behind post, so it's going to be a rush behind.
You can tell with Gold Coast at the minute, their body language is just a little bit down. You kind of hope they'd want to come out with this half. Just a little bit more energy with them. We've seen at half-time, they lacked that little bit of energy, so it's just maybe this goal that they just scored, maybe we'll bring that.
Well, that's awesome. We're just seeing, again, that contest there from Charlie Rowbottom. We missed a few in the first half, probably across the board from a number of players, but just being able to take the body as well, make those contested possessions, bring the ball to ground, and then hunt the ball. We know that Geelong's been so good with their pressure, but if they can, you have a look at the ground ball gets too. This is just a little bit more momentum swinging towards Gold Coast way. They just want to get a few more inside 50s, get those deeper entries, surge the ball into their forward half.
Featherstone looking for Bowen. McDonald's, but pressure shown by the Suns. Darcy links up with Barwick. But the kick towards half forward is the turnover.
The step in from the Suns has came out a little bit hotter this quarter. You know, they're stepping in D1, D2, and then when they get the ball, they're turning it over quick, getting it inside 50. But Geelong are just set up really well behind the ball to be able to get that mark that they're kicking in.
Sermon. This is the first game on Caitlin Thorne. Former member of the Suns Academy, member of the AFLW Team of the Year in 2020, and she's turned it over to Fitzpatrick. McLaughlin. Short to Whitford. Down the line to Bella. Barwick squeezes a kick forward, but Featherstone standing in the way.
I'm loving Featherstone's game. I spoke earlier, she's playing as that second undersized ruck. Kate Darby rolled through there a little bit, but she's playing as a fourth midfielder. I think she's starting to have a real influence on the game. Have a little look at some of her disposals. She's had the 9 disposals, but she's also impacting in the clearances as well, and 4 score involvements.
Kate Sermon looking for a target. Suns have numbers back over the head of Maloney. Whitford. Gervin under pressure. Maloney's got it. And we'll have it tossed back in.
And I go back to Featherstone. I want to give you a little bit of context. She's 170 centimetres. Now, if you know how tall I am, I'm about 165 and I'm a small forward. So to be playing as that ruck role, you see her here again. Another hit out. I think she's doing an outstanding job.
Sermon. Spear and kick inside forward 50. Looking for Scott. Gets out to Kenny. To Bowen. Showing some agility. Back to Scott. McDonald still alive for the Cats. Squeezes a kick forward. Big contest coming up. McLaughlin stands her ground, although Bowen brings her to ground.
And again, Bowen's been really impressive with her forward half pressure as well. She's been lively all day. You see her on the move in this contest as well.
McDonald squeezes a kick forward. Ooh, almost. Almost had the bounce. So if you've just joined us, the Cats kicked the first 10 goals of the game. The Suns, the most recent one through Tara Bohanna.
And Grace, we just saw Amy McDonald as well. She came through with that clearance, but she's been a little bit quieter today, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's only on the 5 disposals for today. Sometimes I feel like it's not about disposals. I'm sure she's doing a lot more behind the ball, the blocks, the turn up, even the layers around the ground. So I feel like she's still bringing that depth in the team.
It looks like, I think it was Elise Barwick, number 6 for Gold Coast, who was paying a little bit more attention to her today too.
Strong grab from Bella.
You can see around the ground when the ball's going up, Amy's going to the Gold Coast players to create a 2-on-1 as well, which is opening it up for the other Geelong players.
Here's Charlie Robin coming up for disposal number 17. 5 tackles. Battle hard today. Of course, no Lucy Single for the Suns out there today. She plays such an important role for them in the midfield. Dunjaka wrapped up by Daisy Darcy. But
free kick for a dangerous tackle. Looked like a little bit of a sling. We know we've seen a couple of those this week.
Briswell to McDonald has turned it over. Wallace Randall takes the grab.
The Daisy Darcy that you've just seen on your screens, I think that she might be the player down at the moment.
Jamie Stanton hits the target inside 50, and it's Darcy Davis. So we'll get Hannah Davies to be across that potential injury to the Suns downstairs at ground level, but Darcy Davis, the 19-year-old, can have a look at potentially the Suns' second goal.
I think she'll go to the top of the square here. I think she'll be pushing on her range. She's about 45 out by the time she probably kicks this.
See what she can manufacture. It's pretty good off the boot. He's got the distance, no worries. Oh, it's touched the line.
I was about to say I'm going to eat my own words because I hope she got that, but
I was ready for it. But it was touched on the line, so just a minor score as we see this potential injury concern for the Suns. More on that in a moment. As the Cats link up on the outer side, the run of Michaela Bowen. Up to half forward, Sermon presents. And then delivers inside forward 50 to Ashley Maloney.
and again, just these inside 50 counts. Again, in this quarter, Geelong are +7, so 10-3 on the inside 50 count early on. They've just been dominant all day. Interesting kick from Maloney. I love that. We know she's got loves around the body, but will never opt to go the drop punt.
All three of her goals have been around the body, but Morrison pounces, shoots towards goal and misses. I don't know what Maloney was trying to do. Was she trying to kick it off the outside of the boot towards goal? Was she trying to just
The old
somehow
banana.
centre it? I'm not quite sure, but Charlie Rowbottom, I mean, she has just been an absolute beast this season 2024. She broke the record of most contested possessions in a game last week and was one disposal off the record set by Ali Anderson earlier this year and had 42. She's really taken a game to new heights.
Yeah, she has. And again, you look at losing some of their depth in the midfield. Oh, we'll come back in a second.
Morrison, she caught high, no free kick. Whitford to Wilson, and now they link up. Whitford gets it again, although under pressure with the kick. Has to go again. Gets around Morrison and takes off. Some dash into the middle. Kennedy knocked it away from Davis. Gets it back here. Fends off Edmondson. Oh. And then throws it on the boot to a 2-on-1 favouring the Cats. Ball squirts out the back from Jaka to McDonald. Kennedy. They're well set in defence, the Cats, although just as I say that, they turn it over. Barwick. Whitford received from Fitzpatrick and takes off. Can they hit a target inside 50, the Suns? Goes over the head of Bohanna. Kennedy will get there first. Bohanna applied the pressure. Friswell, McDonald. Gets around Bohanna and then finds Featherstone. Drop the markers, time to gather, although he's got to be quick with the disposal. Clayton ran her down. Got the handball out to Friswell. And now off to Thorne. The first gamer has a bounce. Directs her kick to half forward. Big contest. It spills away of Maloney. Interesting bounce, but it works out. She has a second bounce. Can she kick a fourth? It's a career best. 4 goals for Ashley Maloney.
Who just got their hands out. And again, you look at the way that they're just being able to run and carry through the middle. They're exploding. They're spreading the ground really well, but they've taken a number of chains through the middle of the corridor. Parry had a huge contest there. I said before, Maloney has only kicked the ball around her body, but she's taken this one as a drop punt and a great finish in front of goal from her fourth.
Scan the QR code on the screen to secure your tickets at Ticketed now.
And hasn't she been outstanding, Grace, today?
Yeah, she's been amazing. She's definitely someone that has lifted the Geelong team for today. 4 goals is great, and they're not only just they're run and carry goals, they're something that is exciting footy to watch.
6 goals now a season 2024 for Ashley Maloney. What an incredible talent she is.
You don't have to think as well. She comes in at 183 centimetres. She's a tall forward, but just the pace that she has, she can nearly break away from any player.
Cats work it forward, Crockett Grills. Tackle on Randall.
And I think that's what Geelong's done extremely well today, is just being able to isolate those one-on-ones a number of times. They had Parry a couple of times, Maloney a few times, just to be able to let them get on their wheels and go.
It's been good today for the Suns. Disposal number 23, Bella Barwick. Combined on the wing. Up to half forward, Ginjaka. Was she held? Yes.
And you mentioned Whitford, she has been outstanding. She's tried really hard. It's a testament to Geelong's pressure because she's had the 13 kicks, but just running at 8% kick efficiency, which is so hard. She's had a number of handballs. Again, they've just been so hot on that first bit of pressure, Geelong.
McDonald. To half forward looking for Bowen. Coming through McLaughlin. She's got some wheels on her. She wants to take it on to Rowbottom, who ran into a brick wall. And Georgie Rankin on the 3/4 time siren, and the tensions are flaring here at People First Stadium. Getting very heated out there. And the umpires will come in and sort it out. But Geelong continue on their merry way at 3/4 time. They extend their margin to 64 points, 11-5-71, leading Gold Coast 1-1-7 at 3/4 time.
Well, it's not looking any better here today for the Suns, folks. Geelong in that quarter putting on 3 goals, 3 to, well, at least the Gold Coast team, they actually scored 1 goal, 1. All right, so that's a little bit better. Let's see how they go in the final quarter, but I can see big victory coming up here for Geelong. I tell you what, they're doing it well. It's a day out in the park. They're just rolling on their merry way, of course. But the Gold Coast, they need to try and fix a few things up in this final quarter so they can take that into their next round, next game they play. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the disposals now. Whitford there leading the way with 23. She's having a pretty good game there. 13 kicks, 10 handballs, 4 marks. 6 tackles. She leads the way out there. On the ground today, Nina Morrison, next best for Geelong with 21. 13 kicks, 8 handballs, 1 mark, 6 tackles. She's kicked 1 goal, 1. She's had a pretty big game. She's done it all so far in this match. Darcy Maloney there with the 14 touches. Kate Sermon there with 13. Daisy Darcy there with 14 for the Suns. Let's keep going down. Alamora there with 8 there for the Suns. As we can pick your favourite player. Show the stats. Of course, this line is the disposals. This line is the kicks. This line is the handballs, the marks, and of course the tackles and the goals over here. There we go. There are your player stats up until 3/4 time. Not too far away before the bounce of the ball. And we'll get back down to the ground. Let's just have a look at the goal scorers. Of course, we've got a few goal scorers here today, but most of them are from Geelong. And Aisling Maloney, have a look at that, folks. She's kicked 4 up until 3/4 time. Fantastic. She's had 13 disposals. From her 10 kicks, she's kicked 4 goals, 1. So she's scoring at a rate of 50% for each kick she's having, which is fantastic. 4 goals, 1. Nice, accurate kicking there. That's what you got to do. That's how you get the score. Well, growing out a little bit like the Catters are doing. Shelley Scott there, the other multiple goal scorer with Jacqueline Parry. 6 kicks, 6 disposals for Shelley Scott. 4 kicks, 2 goals. Good stuff. And, of course, Jacqueline Parry there with 8 disposals. She's had 5 kicks for 2 goals. So they're all doing reasonably well, kicking pretty accurate, which is great to see. Nina Morrison, as I said, she's having a ring-a-ding-ding game today. She's all over the place, here, there, and everywhere. 21 disposals, 13 kicks. She's kicked 1 goal, 1. She's having a cracker of a game. Kate Kenny and Azalia Frischwell and Nina Morrison, as I said, they are the single goal scorers there for Geelong. And, of course, the only a goal scorer for the Gold Coast Suns is Tara Bonahan. Just had 4 touches, 3 kicks, but at least she's got the goal for the Gold Coast team, which is fantastic. Have a look at the AFL fantasy points there. Claudia Whitford leads the way at the moment. She leads the way on 96 points in the AFL fantasy points if you play that game. Nina Morrison on 92. All the rest under that. All right, we shouldn't be too far before we head back down to the ground. Don't forget, coming up after this game, folks, we got the next match following. And of course, that is AFLW action once again. That's St Kilda taking on Hawthorn down at RSCA Park in Melbourne. There we go. So that will follow this game. All right, let's head back down to the ground. And the commentators will give their thoughts and take us into the final quarter. It's the Cats by 64.
For effort, Kenny, a huge kick from about 60 metres out. You'd be pretty happy with that. And you have a little look at just, again, we've just seen Geelong's absolute dominance across these first three quarters. Gold Coast tried to get a little bit of an arm wrestle back that quarter. They did get one goal and they're behind on the scoreboard. But again, there's still a little bit of heat in this game. As you take a little look, Charlie Road at bottom just to finish that. Nita Morrison gives her a little bit of shove. And you have a look at Neve McLaughlin. Credit to her. She comes in to support her teammate. Darcy Maloney comes over and have a look at McLaughlin laying on the ground. Now, Grace, there's two kinds of players on the field. Which one are you?
I definitely feel like I'm McLaughlin on the ground. I definitely would go for the first shove, but then after someone comes for me, I'm done.
And you just have, again, I'm loving this season. I feel like there's been two sides, but I think the argy-bargy in the game, it means there's a bit of heat in it. I love to see that from Gold Coast, just to still come back and have a bit of fight.
Plenty of spirit in this contest. Let's get straight down to ground level. Hannah Davies is with Geelong coach Dan Lowther.
Dan, there were comments made during the week that your side were underperforming, and now we've just seen a near flawless 3 quarters of footy. What's been the catalyst for that?
I think just going back to basics, getting our hands on the footy. We couldn't get the ball last week against the Blues, so this week against the Gold Coast Suns, the method was our application to the contest to get the footy, and obviously going forward back, and that's been really positive.
Well done, thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you.
Here they go again, the Cats. Maloney sends him inside forward 50, offhand. Sermon's there. Shelley Scott picks it up, finds some space, hooks the kick around the corner to full forward, and Bowen's on the end of it.
Again, another hot start here early from the Geelong, from Geelong, but they've started really well. Bowen, I've said a couple of times, she's taken a few good marks inside forward 50. She's been really lively and dangerous. I've loved what she's been bringing early on. A few selfless moments. You have a look there. 6 score involvements is huge.
This will be her first goal of the afternoon. To continue the goal-kicking zest. And a little celebration of match 2.
And a great celebration. She's put their hands together, a little praise. She shows Nina Morrison as well. A little bow. Take a look at the replay here again, straight from centre bounce. Maloney all on her own out the back, but she's just got the drive, run and carry, kick the ball deep. A great contest. Unfortunately from Gold Coast, there was 2 of their defenders that have killed the contest. Shelley Scott with a little kick around her body, and Bowen just playing in front, uses her speed and pace, and a great finish in front of goal, reward for effort.
Now, I have a question for our 2 Richmond stars, Sarah Hosking and Grace Egan. We've seen some really interesting, fun celebrations in season 2024. Did the playing group collectively come together and just go, we just want to entertain the fans in season 2024? Because I'm loving the Sellies.
Well, I think they do, don't they, guys? There's some teams that are a little bit more than others.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's bringing a bit more excitement into the game, having a bit of a celebration after you kick a goal. Sarah and I have been practicing one recently, but unfortunately I haven't hit the scoreboard, so we can't put it on the TV just yet. But it's coming. It's definitely coming.
So you've got one up your sleeve. I'm so excited for this. Stay tuned for that, AFLW fans. So, ought to be one on the wing here. Crockett Grills gets boot to ball. Margin now out to 70 points. Geelong's highest ever winning margin is 75 points against Sydney in round 10 of season 7.
You can see it's Gold Coast are getting pretty heated out there. There's still a bit of push and shove between both teams. I mean, I'm not against it. I do love that. At least they're still bringing a bit of effort.
Sermon spears the kick inside forward 50, free kick going for a push on Jackie Parry. Have a look at her.
So you have a little look at the replay. It was either Wilson, I think. He's coming up, but again, Jackie Parry will go. Just what she's been able to do today. It's her 50th game. She's lining up for her 3rd goal, but she's so dangerous when she is one-on-one because she uses her body really well.
Jackie parried to equal her career best in a milestone game, and she sneaks home her third.
And just have a look at the way that Geelong celebrate that goal too. As you mentioned, Jess, it's a equal best, so 3 goals in the game. And we have a look at the replay, just coming from stoppage. This source too, a great bump from Michaela Bowen. I've given her praise all day. I thought she's been outstanding. She's done the little things. Sermon just with a great little kick inside 50. Again, it was just a little push there. Unfortunate when you've got 2 tools in a contest. Love just to be able to kill the ball, but great finish from Parry. And we had a little look earlier, you would have seen on your screens, that Geelong have kicked 10 goals from turnover. Now, I'm going to give a little shout out to any little nuffies out there that know some stats. Please send us through a message. I think that could arguably be one of the biggest scores from turnover in an AFLW game.
A few names come to mind that might know the answer to that, to Sarah.
Nuffy probably wasn't the right word, sorry.
Stanton keeps it alive in the pocket. Just. Bohanna. She's wrapped up by Morrison, who's been one of Geelong's best today, 23 disposals.
Yeah, we spoke earlier about Nina Morrison. She's had an amazing day so far with the 23 disposals, but 16 contested possessions. She's been able to step in and hunt, and 7 tackles to add to that as well, and hit the scoreboard. So to be able to step up.
Whitford hooks the kick around the corner, and Annabelle Keevitt takes the mark at the top of the square and can go back and potentially kick her first goal in the AFLW.
She takes a big breath too.
Out of the SUNS Academy and Waratahs in the NT, pick number 52 in last year's draft, she gets her first goal.
And again, it hasn't been their day today, but you've got to love to see that when one of your young players kicks their first AFLW goal. Just about every single player on the field got around her then. Again, we've struggled to see a little bit of this from Gold Coast around the day, but just their work around the contest. Great from Claudia Whitford to just put the ball to the top of the square and keep it. A nice little contested mark there. Great finish in front of goal.
So Annabelle Keevitt kicks her first goal in the big time as we head downstairs and check in with Hannah Davies.
Jess, I've been keeping an eye on Daisy Darcy during the 3/4 time break. After she went down, she went off, got the left knee strapped, did a few tests, and now she is back and ready to go.
It's good news indeed. Thank you to that, Hannah. Back in the middle we go. McDonald for the Cats to Morrison. Steps through traffic beautifully. Kick it aside 50 though. Lynch in best position, off hands. Bowen swoops, snaps, and misses.
Just got the wrong side of the boot there, but Grace spoke earlier about Nina Morrison and her game. Just how outstanding was that from centre bounce, just being able to weave her way through traffic, drive her legs and get it deep inside 50. They've competed all day. They've done so well, Geelong.
Gervin, not sure where to go. It's a wobbly kick off the boot. Robot. So strong in the contest. Dangerous kick though. Foot Barwick under a bit of pressure. Fitzpatrick head over the footy. Brought to ground. Tensions continue to flare a little bit.
And some of the numbers popping up on your screen. Geelong just dominating contested possession again, nearly plus 20.
Donald squeezes a kick forward, and that has hit the behind post, so we're going to have it tossed back in. A couple of records that we're keeping our eye on today. Geelong's highest winning margin is 75 points, and the Suns trying to avoid their greatest losing margin of 73 points. Currently at 71. So plenty of time left in this final quarter. And McDonald was caught high.
She didn't like that treatment either at all from Barwick. She lines up, goes back for goal. McDonald as well. Spoken last year, she's typically had a heap of the ball. Today, just the 10 possessions. So the 7 contested, 5 clearances though, so she has been dominant.
Wants to pass it off and look for Maloney, who has to spoil from behind. This is Darcy Maloney, and caught holding the ball.
A little bit unlucky there. I thought she might have got a hand to that, but again, great pressure. Good to see Darcy back out on the ground. We know she looked like she had a little bit of a niggle in that third quarter. She's been prolific today, the 14 disposals, and when kicking efficiency hasn't been great across the team, she's had running at 89% efficiency, so she's been really strong all day.
Gunjaka pumps it back into attack for Geelong. Darby hands to it, no mark. Darcy Maloney tried to throw it on her boot. Bowen to Rankin, the Queenslander, kicks her first of the afternoon.
Jens, isn't this huge from Geelong?
I think she's got a few fans in the crowd. I think if you can pick that up on our effects, Mike. Out of Surfers Paradise. Great story. She switched from basketball at 18 years of age to be a part of the inaugural Surfers team in the QWFA competition and worked her way up to AFLW. And of course has a long lineage at the Cats.
Tickets are just $15 and
Back into the lineup today and kicking goals is Georgie Rankin, and the margin is now out to 77 points.
Sarah, I have a question for you. Do you think they could crack the 100 today?
Well, I think that, well, definitely, 100% I think they can. You look at, there's still another 10 minutes to go. They've been so strong and they're getting the ball inside their forward 50. Again, I'm going to ask another little shout out to the stats gurus, I'm going to call them. How many times has AFLW games cracked the ton? Because I think Geelong are well and truly on their way to do that today.
So I mentioned a couple of records. I think there's maybe a couple more in sight. Still 10 minutes to go in this final quarter. Geelong have cracked the 100 once against Sydney, back in season 7. I think Brisbane have done it, Melbourne have done it. Let's see how much they can put their foot on the pedal, the Cats. Crossan sends the Suns to half forward, Stanton locked up. Where to now for the Suns? They've a draw to their name against GWS last week, and this is a worrying performance, I think, for them, as Davis will try and look for a target up 50. I'll come back to you both in a moment. She pumps it long to the top of the square. Stanton in the pack couldn't reel it in, and Emerson brought to a halt. Games against Collingwood, Hawthorn and Essendon to come, so potentially a winnable game against Collingwood with a long injury list, as Darcy finds a way through and kicks a really great goal. Well, reward for effort, I think, for Daisy Darcy. 16 disposals today, a few tackles, 3 clearances. She's trying her heart out. She gets a golden name.
And again, just good reward for effort. It's been a struggle all day. For me, again, that's just great pass across your body too, under pressure around a contest. Yeah, she just gets the ball on that outside. Daisy Darcy has worked really hard all day. Struggle for Gold Coast. Have a look now, and Grace, you talk about responses. So Geelong have had an outstanding response. Gold Coast have struggled today. For me, they've struggled in that transition of ball getting forward. What is it that you want to see from them coming into the game next week?
You definitely go away and watch where they lacked today, and I think it was just that step in when Geelong were running and carrying, getting that overlap. So you need to hunt the ball at that part of the ground firstly, so they can't get the ball that fast into their forward 50.
Whitford sends the Suns forward once more. Bohanna find her teammate Conville with the handball. Now Webster kicks for Bowen. She's been great today, Michaela Bowen.
She has. She's 20 disposals. She's had the 10 score involvements, which is huge. I've loved her pressure. You know, she always plays that tackling style game. She's real contested, but she's really worked well in her offensive game today. I've been really impressed with it.
Some good pressure shown by the Suns in the middle of the ground. They forced the turnover. Bohanna back to McConville. And it's just come a little bit unstuck. And free kick for a hold going the way of Becky Webster.
Just off the ball a little bit by Bohanna.
On that one as well, Sarah, sometimes you watch the team play the week before, and last week Geelong didn't do that well. They were goalless. So maybe Gold Coast came in with a little bit of a different outlook. They thought they might have got on top early. Sometimes you go away and see how they prepped for today's game and if they could prep a little bit differently as well.
And again, you're having a look at both these sides coming off finals last year too. Both yet to win a game, both have drawn a game so far. So, you know, this game for me is really critical because both teams need a win in order to potentially still be in finals.
And percentage is going to play a role, I think, as well in determining some ladder positions. So I think the Cats will be aware of that. I want to run this match out strongly. Under pressure though at half-back. McDonald was caught, just got the handball out to Maloney. Featherstone, Rowbottom got her. And will be rewarded. "23 disposals, 8 clearances, 7 tackles for Charlie Rowbottom again. And has a player free in Davis.
Well, we're starting to see a little bit of a different game that we haven't seen from Gold Coast. They've struggled to get their game going for 3 quarters, and all of a sudden they've been able to hit the scoreboard. They're moving the ball and getting marks inside 50.
Yeah, you've seen they've scored 2 goals in this last quarter, so
Going to make it 3. It's Darcy Davis from long range. She'll just send it to the top of the goal square and hope for a flyer. When Jaka hands to it, over her head. This will be something special. Doesn't quite have the accuracy.
She's had an almost day, Bahana. She hasn't taken some of those moments. She has kicked 1 goal, but she had a few opportunities. She kicked the ball into a player on the mark once or twice. That was an almost goal. It's really hard as a key forward, but as team captain as well, to be able to lead your team and drive your team from the front.
Chance on turnover for the Suns. Whitford can send them back inside forward 50. Kick in front of Davis. We'll have to battle with good Jaka, who's happy to see it roll out of play. Geelong by 24 at quarter time, by 50 at half time. They kick the first 10 goals of the game. Margin pulled out to 69 at 3/4 time and is now at 70 points.
I still feel like Gold Coast have still brought 4 quarters. They're not finishing the game off just because they were down. They've still got 5 inside 50s in this last quarter. So they're still presenting and they're still showing their game, hoping that they'll finish the game off strong, I imagine.
They're just looking a little bit more dangerous this quarter. Inside 50.
They're stepping as well on that, Sarah. They're stepping in. They're wanting those tackles, getting it inside 50. And you can see right now Charlie Rowbottom is stepping up for them.
Emmonson's caught. Conville. Lachlan. Bishop. Pokes it to the top of the square. Just a little bit too much on it for Membry. Goes back in close to the line. It's an interesting disposal. The umpire called play on Rankin. To Bowen. Kick smothered. Great pressure shown by Bishop.
Still in.
And it still remains in. And Jaka.
Outstanding from Bowen there. She was the only player that still kept playing to the whistle. She was close to the boundary, but I know I've said it multiple times. She is having a great game, arguably one of her best games of her career.
Down the line to a contest. Darcy and McDonald off the ball. They were both wrestling each other, so who's the umpire going to give the free kick to? It's going to go Geelong's way. Amy McDonald down the line for Crockett Grills. 4 minutes to play here in the final quarter. Geelong set the tone from the opening bounce. They're on their way towards their first win of 2024, hoping to resurrect their season. Last year's preliminary finalists. The Suns looking for some confidence to take into next week. They take on Collingwood. Spinjaka marks a half back, inboard to McDonald.
You know, there's 3 minutes 30 left in the game, but selfishly I want Geelong to really take the game on so they can crack the 100, which you can see they're doing again as they've done all day. Go straight through the corridor. You want the hands in the ball of Nina Morrison.
There's a chance for Morrison into the pocket for Kenny. Collects. And Water Scott. Kick smothered off the boot. Gervin on the rebound for the Suns. Well, the bounce didn't favour Gunjaka. And now they've got the numbers here, the Suns. Davis had a fumble. McLaughlin. And it's open up here for the Suns. All Stanton needs to do is kick the goal, and she's missed. Bohanna was alone in the goal square. Jamie Stanton had so much time and space. She could have run another 50. She could have run all the way to the goal line.
Tell me, Grace, would you have given that off?
I would have given it off because I wouldn't have wanted to hear about it during the week from my teammates. So
that's disappointing from Stanton. Again, we know she takes her moments, but you've got your captain going into the goal square wanting to give that off. It was an easy goal. With 4 players in front of the ball there too. It just hasn't been Gold Coast Day today. They've been dominated around the ground as well. Uncontested possessions have lost by about 30. Inside 50 count has been huge. They're down by about 20. They've been able to capitalise in this last quarter, hit the scoreboard 3 times, but again, it's been an outstanding performance from Geelong. Great response.
Darcy Maloney sends it inside 50, and Morrison on a lead. Already kicked a goal in the opening quarter. She'll look to pass it off this time. Friswell from the side, couldn't complete the mark. Fitzpatrick has some work to do. Morrison bearing down on her. Whitford has turned it over. "90 seconds to play. Randall playing in front, but it spills to Scott, who kicks towards goal, and she's got another, her third. So the ton is still on.
It is. Ton is well and truly in force. They've got 1:20, Grace. Can they do it? Crack the 100.
I definitely think they can. They just surge it forward, and they've shown up today, so I think they'll crack the 100. I'm calling it.
Commentator's curse.
Commentator's curse.
Well, I think it's only happened twice, and I know someone's going to correct me if I'm wrong, which is okay.
3 times.
3 times.
Yes.
So Melbourne, 107 points. Geelong, 100 and... So Melbourne, that was against West Coast. And I'm going off memory here. Got Geelong, 102 against Sydney in Season 7.
And Adelaide have done it as well. I'm not sure who gets
all over. I can probably find out. Whitford, out of the middle for the Suns. And whistle on play and free kick for a hold going the way of Tara Bohanna.
And again, outstanding from Whitford. She's had an awesome day, Grace. You've mentioned her name a number of times.
Yeah, she's definitely gave it her all today with the 28 disposals and 14 contested. She's definitely a player that you'd love to watch, and I'm sure she'll go away this week and want the team to come back bigger and better next week as well.
Again, captain's goal chance for here. She's Tara Bohanna for a second shot at goal. She's had an almost day today.
And this kick will help the Suns avoid their worst ever loss. For a second goal, Tara Bohanna. It's through the middle, and she's got a couple.
Again, you just have a little look at the replay here. It's from Gunjaka on Bohanna. Not a heap in it, but probably enough from the umpire. And it's a bit of a shame that Gold Coast haven't been able to put together this 4-quarter performance, because this last quarter they've been able to hit the scoreboard. 4 goals. They've been really competitive.
Draws the margin back to 69 points. Tara Bohanna has kicked her second goal of the game. Third for the season for the skipper. Tough day up forward for the Suns. But it is a good response. That was scoreless at halftime. So to respond and at least kick 4 goals on the board against this determined Geelong outfit is a good way to finish the game. Big fist came from Bella in the middle, but as far as Parry has gone backwards into defence. Out to Friswell. Bowen wants to move it quickly. Scott hands to it. Gervin out the back. To Lynch. To Keevan, and that might do us. Contest on the wing. Morrison. But the siren's got a sound. And Geelong get back on the winners list in emphatic style. They dominate the Suns by 69 points. Victory from start to finish for the Cats. They led by 24 points at quarter time, by 50 at half time. They kicked the first 10 goals of the game before Tara Bahana broke the drought at the 8-minute mark of the third quarter before Geelong ran out 69-point winners to earn their first win of season 2024 and keep their finals hopes alive. Nina Morrison was fantastic today with 26 disposals, 7 clearances, 7 tackles, 6 score involvements. Ashley Maloney, 13 disposals, 4 goals won, a career best for her as we take a look at Geelong's next 4 games. A big game to come up against Hawthorn, Fremantle, Sydney and Richmond, featuring 2 stars to my left, Sarah Hosking and Grace Egan. But it was the Geelong show up on the Gold Coast today.
It was, and just an outstanding response from Geelong off the back of their last couple of weeks. I think, you know, you've got to look at this performance today and know that their strong performances, when they actually are out there and playing their way, they're so damaging. I saw they controlled the whole game, their uncontested possession, the way they were able to move the ball. And Grace, talk to me again, that turnover game was huge.
Yeah, once they won that ball back, their turnover, we spoke about before the game, Rebecca Webster, you know, running off the half-back and getting it forward and shoot that well today.
So the day belonged to Geelong. They kicked their second highest score in the AFLW and recorded their second biggest win. They absolutely blew the Suns off the park and they ran out by 69-point winners.
All right, folks, there we go. That wraps up this game. Geelong, big winners, 15-6-96, defeating the Gold Coast Suns 4-3-27 by 69 points. The Gold Coast, however, they show a little bit of grit and fight in that final quarter, kicking 3 goals to the Geelong Cats. Too good. 4 goals won in that final quarter. It was a great display of football. AFLW style there by Geelong, so they finally get their victory on the board. All right, folks, we had the votes in today, 18 votes, and of course 55% went for Geelong. Congrats. You got it right, chat. You got it right. The poll there today, we got that right. But that is all we got for this game. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. We're going to cross over now for the St Kilda Hawthorn game, which starts in about 5 minutes. I'll cover that live in just a moment, so stay tuned. If you want to follow along with that one, the St Kilda Hawthorn AFLW action, just head back to my channel. I'll be going live with that game in about 2 minutes' time. So I will bid you adieu on this game. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Dominant win by Geelong. Bit of work to do there for the Suns. All right, folks. Thanks, everyone, for coming in on this game. And ciao for now. I'll see you at the next game.